Bottom of the first, and in the leadoff spot tonight is Andres Jimenez. Bo Bichette not in the starting lineup for the third game in a row, although feeling much better. Took ground balls today for the first time since stepping on a ball a couple of days ago. So it's Jimenez in the leadoff spot, and it's George Springer hitting 2 tonight. 2 home runs, 7 RBIs last night, 15 runs driven in his last 7 games. Bottom of the order, Wagner, Schneider, Straw. And again, that bottom of the order has been doing such a good job setting the table for the top. But they're going to face a guy, maybe not a big name, but Will Warren, with a lot of injuries in this Yankee rotation this year. He has given them some very good innings.
The 26-year-old right-hander was an 8th-round draft pick of the Yankees in 2021. He's just in his 2nd season, but he is a strikeout machine. His last 4 starts, he's got an ERA under 2, and he is leading the American League in his strikeout rate. It's 11.5 per 9. He's ahead of guys like Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, Hunter Brown.
Lines this one to left center, and it's down for a base hit. So a man on here to lead off the bottom of the first. That'll bring up George Springer. And Joe, this is one of the biggest moments the Blue Jays have had this season.
Ernie Clement had just put the Blue Jays up 5-4, but this put an exclamation mark on a Canada Day victory and a record-setting day for George Springer. His 2nd homer of the game. This grand slam put the Blue Jays up 9-4 in the 7th.
Pretty raw emotion there from Springer in the aftermath of that home run, rounding the bases. So he's now the club leader in home runs with 13. Look at that OPS, 854. OPS plus averages 100. So he is 37% higher than your average major league hitter. That's right at the knees on the outside corner, but in the hole, 0-2.
Warren averages over 93 with the fastball. He'll throw 4-seamer and sinker, and a lot of fastballs to right-handed batters. And then he's also got a sweeper that'll run away, gets a lot of swing and miss with that pitch.
Remember, Garrett Cole's out for the season. Luis Gil, who won the Rookie of the Year last year, he hasn't pitched at all this year. Marcus Stroman just came back and probably wasn't even originally scheduled to be in their rotation at the beginning of the year, but he was out a couple of months. Ryan Yarbrough went into the rotation. Now he's on the IL. They have really had to patch it together at certain spots, and getting very capable innings out of Will Warren has made things a little bit easier. There's Stroman, who just came off the IL, missed a couple of months with a knee injury, won't pitch in this series. He pitched Sunday against the A's, the last game before the Yankees got here. That's a big sweeper right there. I talked to Davis Schneider about it. Schneider has faced Warren in the minors, and hitters, if you like numbers, you can get numbers. And Schneider said to me, it's like a 20-inch sweeper. There's a ton of horizontal movement on that pitch. And a base hit into right field. A nice job too by Jimenez, making sure he didn't get hit by that ball. So 2 on with nobody out for a guy about whom it was just announced is going to be the starter for the American League in the All-Star game. They are starting to come out with the announcements right now, and the Blue Jays have posted, it's being announced, I believe, on ESPN in the U.S. even as we speak, but the Blue Jays have posted that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going back to the All-Star game. It'll be his 5th All-Star game and his 4th time as the starter at first base for the American League. So congratulations to Vladdy. If you're wondering about Alejandro Kirk, who was the other finalist, the Mariners have posted that Cal Raleigh is going to be the starter. So Raleigh, and it's hard to argue, although you and I both believe that.
We'll argue.
We'll argue.
We'll argue for Captain Kirk.
But Captain Kirk's going to be at the All-Star game. I don't think there's much chance of him not being there with the kind of first half that he's had.
We see him every day on both sides of the ball. What a first half he's had.
2 on, nobody out. The Blue Jays looking to get an early lead here tonight. And there's that sweeper again. The other thing Davis Schneider told me about it, because it moves so much, if you see it over the middle of the plate, can't swing at it.
Let it go.
You got to swing at the one that looks like it's going to hit you in the hip.
If you pick up the spin, it's all about where it is at that time, and it's easier said than done, of course. That's why it's been a successful pitch for him.
Down and away, 3 balls and a strike on Guerrero.
This is what I was referring to in our open, talking about this tenacious offense. Here's Andres Jimenez leading things off with that single. George with 2 strikes, not trying to do a whole lot, just trying to put it in play the other way with that open hole, and he bounces one into right.
Ooh, fouled off, 3-2.
If that one broke 20 inches, if it was 16 inches, I think it'd be 3-0 Blue Jays right now. He had a vicious hack at that pitch. Just breaking enough to get him toward the end of the bat.
Full count pitch. Foul back. Another vicious hack at a sweeper, and that one was left over the inner half of the plate.
There are days that I swear you can tell what's going on with Vladdy. Watch this backswing right off the hand. Now we know that Yankees catcher J.C. Escar has had a couple catcher's interference calls. It's Ben Rice back there. He's making just his 4th start of the season, but that's a big backswing you can't do much about as a catcher.
And another foul off, and this one might have shaken up Vladdy just a bit. You know, you look at the first 2 games of the series, Max Fried only struck out 2 in 6 innings last night, and bounced up, hit Vladdy in the inside of the left leg. 6 strikeouts total for the Blue Jays as a team. Their hitters also 6 the night before. They have the lowest strikeout rate in the major leagues, and it's been a big discussion point on the Yankee side of the field.
It takes a lot out of the pitcher mentally, not just physically, when you have to throw more pitches. What it also means is you're strategizing more. You're thinking each pitch from 2-2 to 3-2, and what am I going to go with now?
Fouls off another one. This is an 8-pitch at bat already, and Guerrero has fouled off the last 4.
After I told you about how his strikeout rate tops in the American League, and it's especially tough against right-handed batters.
Right.
It's #1 in Major League Baseball. 37% of right-handers striking out.
And it's just off the corner for ball 4, and the Blue Jays have loaded the bases with nobody out. And Aaron Boone did not like that call. And he and Eric Backus, the home plate umpire, are going at it. Whatever Backus just said, I didn't see what he said, but whatever he said to Aaron Boone kind of changed Boone's demeanor in a hurry.
That might have been the old one more word and you're out of here, but I think Aaron was asking if it was down or if it was away.
And managers have a much better ability to see up and down from the dugout than they do inside and outside. That's close. That's a confident take by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's a low heart rate kind of take right there.
I think because it was a sinker, it was starting out further away, so he gave up on it, and it came back and was a little closer than he anticipated.
So what a chance here in the bottom of the 1st to get on the board. Bases loaded, nobody out for Alejandro Kirk. And that's a strike, 0-1. Kirk 0 for 4 last night. That was one of the amazing things about last night's game. Guerrero went 0 for 5. Kirk went 0 for 4. Bichette didn't play, and they scored 12 runs. Now, Springer had a lot to do with that. Down the right field line. It is a fair ball. Here's Jimenez. Here's Springer. Guerrero stops at 3rd. It's a 2-run double for Alejandro Kirk.
How often do we talk about the contact skills in this Blue Jays lineup, and especially with Alejandro Kirk? This pitch is up in his eyes. It's one of those sweepers from Warren, but it just spun. It backed up. It didn't break. But look at the flat swing. He handles the ball at the top of the zone very well because of that flat swing. And I thought when Judge got this ball in from the outfield, they had a shot to get Kirk at second, but Goldschmidt decided not to.
Right, they were thinking about stopping Guerrero from scoring, and that kind of allowed Kirk to get to second. Infield back for the Yankees, and now Addison Barger. Straight away, center, gone! What a start for the Blue Jays here tonight. 5 batters in, it's 5-0.
Sometimes the best thing to do after a big play like that double from Kirk is go up and look for a first pitch. And Addison Barger got a changeup that just did right down the middle. It didn't do a thing. And he drove it deep to center.
Ernie Clement with a chopper to third and thrown out by Jazz Chisholm Jr. That's the first out of the inning, and it gives us a chance to go back and look at that Barger home run.
Well, everybody else was celebrating Kirk's hit except for Addison because he was getting ready to hit, and I think he knew this right off the bat. Really a good approach to this baseball, and it just really stayed up and out over the plate. That's a dangerous mistake to a hitter with that kind of power.
Boy, that's a powerful looking swing, even more so in slow-mo. And Barger, one of the guys, along with Davis Schneider, we mentioned earlier, who's very familiar with Will Warren. You can, go online and look up the numbers and say nobody's ever faced Will Warren. Well, but Davis Schneider and Addison Barger, extensive experience against Warren in the minors. And they were talking about it around the cage today. Each of them has hit a home run off Warren in the minors. It happened in the same game in Double-A back in 2022, and things change, but they've each got 10+ plate appearances against them. They know the arm angle, they know the ride on the ball, and that it's a little bit deceptive. And who knows what Barger was looking for or sitting on as that first pitch came in. But boy, when he gets all of it, he hits it about as hard as anybody. Almost right there with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
He sure does. It's more four-seam fastballs and changeups to the left-handed batters, and I'm sure Addison's just thinking, look out over the plate first pitch. Don't get too in particular about what is coming. If you look for a location, you get a changeup that doesn't do much. Be on time for that thing.
Will Wagner getting a start at third base tonight. As he takes up and in, it's a full count. Davis Schneider on deck. And he checked the swing. It's outside, ball 4.
Boy, if this inning doesn't encapsulate what the Blue Jays offense has been doing over the last month and a half, it's really to a T. Just good at-bats, tough at-bats, working pitchers, throwing a base hit out there. Maybe somebody runs into one. Will Wagner not letting him off the hook, drawing the walk.
Now Schneider. And Schneider hits one high and deep to left. And that is going to go. This is unbelievable stuff from the Blue Jays right now. Barger and Schneider each homering on the first pitch. Again, the two guys very familiar with Warren as they came up through the minors against one another. And the beat goes on for the Blue Jays. They have put 7 on the board here in the first.
I think you painted the picture beautifully. You get a little history. John Schneider alluded to that this afternoon. These guys have seen Warren in the minor leagues. They're used to him.
Miles Straw with a fly ball down the left field line. Jason Dominguez the catch. Let's take a look at Davis Schneider's second home run of the season.
Well, you talked about what he said about the sweeper from Warren. You have to see it. If it starts at you, that's the one you want. If it starts middle, you have to lay off because it's going away. This one started at him, and it came right back over to the middle of the plate.
7 runs in the first. Needless to say, a season high for the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's Andres Jimenez again. He got it all started with a base hit. Yet to quote John Schneider when he was asked why Davis Schneider is in the lineup, his quote was, 4 for 8, couple of doubles and a homer. I mean, he knew the numbers from the minors. Those are not big league numbers. Those are from the minors. But, you know, who knows if that familiarity really made the difference for Barger and Schneider. But whatever they're doing right now, it's working.
Just keep doing it.
And a ground ball to the left side. Chisholm spins and fires, and not in time. Jimenez aboard with an infield hit.
Pretty soon Will Warren is going to just say, what do I have to do here? He finally gets a ground ball off the bat of a Blue Jays hitter, but speed of Jimenez beats it out.
So Jimenez with 2 hits in the inning. George Springer had a ground ball base hit through the right side, his first time up. In there, 1-1. You know, if you're Aaron Boone, the last thing you want to do is pull your starting pitcher now. 33 pitches, 2/3 of an inning, blow up your bullpen. You got another game tomorrow, but nobody's gotten up. Warren's going to have to ride this out for a while, it looks like.
Well, you almost have to, because you can't keep doing this to your bullpen. And even the big guys, even Max Fried, he just went 6 yesterday, and that's a reflection of this Blue Jays lineup. And I guess sooner or later you got to get on that phone. But wow, that's gonna be a long night.
That's Matt Blake, the pitching coach, and he did just get on the phone. And there's an example, keeping an inning going, keeping an at-bat going. That's a good pitch from Warren, but Springer spoiled it. We can't say that Barger and Schneider spoiled anything. They hit the first pitch they saw out of the ballpark.
Did you see Kirky right there? I think he was imitating his swing. But you go back to the Vladdy walk, you go back to the Will Wagner walk, just extending things, making life just so tough on a pitcher.
By the way, the franchise record for most runs in the first inning for the Blue Jays is 8.
Let's go.
Swing and a miss. Springer strikes out. The inning is finally over. The Blue Jays score 7 in the first. Andres Jimenez got it started, and they just kept on swinging it. The big double by Kirk. Barger leaving the yard, and no doubt at a straightaway center. Schneider with one as well.